Hey, AfterBuzz TV fans, tune in now for Season 3, Episode 3 of How to Get Away with Murder. Always bet black.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah, another good episode. We're getting some more material to work with, a new case. Definitely the plot thickens. Here to talk about it, we got the full panel again.
Oh, yeah.
April, start us off. Where can the people find you?
Hey, everybody, I'm April Whisenhant. Y'all can find me everywhere at April Whisenhant. And as always, we got the chat going, so let us know what you thought about tonight's episode.
And you can find me at Owen with Omari on Twitter and IG, and we are live tweeting, so make sure you guys are sending us your tweets.
Whoop, whoop. Hey, guys, you can find me at Sterling Cates.
Whoop, whoop, I like that.
Whoop.
Flair.
I was thinking about just tweeting you guys. I'm ready.
And I'm JB. You guys can find me at Hey John Blake. Let's start this episode off. Always bet black. Really interesting. We kind of cut to. Actually, hold up. Before we get into the episode, because it's gonna get.
They don't
it's
love
gonna
you.
Thank you.
I do just want to kind of address some of the comments. A lot of people. We were talking last week. I think we may have misspoke. Oliver is HIV positive, which is very different from AIDS. Sorry if we made that confusing or made a mistake sort of talking about that. They are very different things, so we just want to acknowledge that. Thank you, fans, for noting that as well. Speaking of fans, I also want to bring up a more dedicated fan had tweeted that he got a tattoo of the Annalise Keating 5. You guys can follow him. That's Niles at the Keating 5.
So
You guys have got to see this tattoo. That
cool.
is dedication
Super
right
dope.
there.
Yeah,
It made me want
it's
to
pretty
get it.
tasteful.
It was like
feel
classy.
You wouldn't be able to notice unless you sort of knew.
Yeah.
Because it's subtle. Check it
Right.
out though, fans.
It's still pretty
definitely
cool
intense.
though. Like if someone who doesn't watch the show saw it, they would probably assume it's like his siblings or something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It looks like a mod, like
Basically.
art
It's very
piece.
minimalist.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Props to that.
Totally. Well, for all the other fans that aren't
Get
inked
tattoos.
up-
Yeah.
We are not real fans.
We'll shout you out if you get a tattoo.
Totally.
Just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god, we're gonna get some mean tweets.
Right.
Send us your tats.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of how cool the show is, we kind of start off with Annalise being just a complete boss, and her confrontations with the president of the school is awesome. It is her boss technically,
Yeah.
and she just bulldozes past her every time.
Yeah, it got me excited when they were showing the recap of last week, and they just showed that suspension scene again, and she was just like, no. It just brought like all the memories, just how badass she is.
When in this episode, when the president walks up to Annalise and she's like, "Oh, if I could have stood up and cheered, I would have." I'm like, "You need to sit down.
Right.
You are so fake." I can't. I definitely don't trust her.
I don't trust her, but something about her does make me think that she is kind of behind Annalise, but for her own selfish reasons, because Annalise has brought so much press to the school and done so many great things before. But she's also, I mean, she's like trying to play both sides, which we see a lot of that
Well, then
happening
why
tonight.
Very two-faced.
Yeah, but then why at the end would
Exactly.
she be upset about
Right.
the newspaper article?
When she was looking at that laptop, that was not a happy face.
Yeah.
I think it was because like when Annalise at the beginning of the episode was like, "Oh, just wait till you see this case that I have coming." She didn't think that she was actually going to be able to pull something out. So when she saw it, it's kind of like, "Oh, well, she was
She looked
able
disappointed.
Right.
And
She
that's-
did, but in one of those like, "Oh crap, I was wrong" kind of ways. Or that's what I thought about it
Ooh,
anyway.
interesting. Because I thought, I mean, the call that she made seemed like they were actively trying to get rid of Annalise, and after this very positive
gonna be
press
tough to
thing
do
comes
that.
out, like you can't get
Can't
rid
do
of like your
anything now.
star player.
But you're hero.
So
The mayor's calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the mayor calls, you know it's serious.
totally. I very much
I'm
expected.
still suspicious. Very
Yes,
sus.
I
very
agree
sus.
with you.
Yeah.
She seems fake.
With the character of the president of the school, I thought was going to be very small, and she's actually appeared in every episode so
Good
far,
screen time.
which makes me think, like, do you guys think she's big enough as a character to be under the sheet?
I think
Speaking
so.
of,
I think
let
so.
me.
Dun, dun, dun.
I screenshotted a comment from our comments last week,
Okay.
and it's Stassi Miller. She says, "I think it's the college president under the sheet," and then like quite a few people commented saying like, "Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good prediction," because it makes sense in the sense of we all know they don't introduce new characters on this show without a purpose. And so what other purpose besides giving Annalise someone to kind of go up against does she serve? Annalise could go up against anyone, but they're putting this lady, I can't call her anything but Detective LaGuardia. That's not her name on the show, it's Dexter, but I think she's on here for a reason.
Right.
So she becomes...
I could definitely see that.
So the under the sheet person, is the person who was in the house.
The first person who was dead. I think that's the
gurney.
The gurney.
So that's the same person. Okay, so I think the president is the one that's in the house.
Ooh, okay, that's still
the one they just discovered.
The one they just discovered.
And they can't tell
like
who
more
it is.
Or that could be a Keating 5 member or something that they weren't expecting to be dead and then got...
It's just such a gruesome death, like being burned like that. I feel like she needs to go that way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, that's too intense.
But
Somebody's got to go that way.
Don't mess with my girl. Like,
two people crossed Annalise in this episode, the president and Laurel. So I'm like definitely putting them into the pool of who the people that's got to go.
I feel like that could be...
So you feel me.
Giving them that.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe those are the two people.
You do not cross Annalise. My favorite quote of this episode is definitely, "The president can suck it."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, really? Not today. Like, that should be the name of every episode, not today. Annalise.
Yeah.
Y'all, they are killing it in the chat right now.
Awesome. Anything of note?
It's so this is funny because I thought about this during the episode, but Price Wright says, "Oh God, I already know the Laurel shippers are about to come hard with a passion."
Ooh, nice. Yep.
It's like too forced though. Like I just don't feel like that sexual chemistry's there.
Right. Well, it's such like an unrequited
Laurel
love,
and
like thing. Like Wes clearly likes Laurel. Laurel isn't even answering his text message. She's still in love with Frank, so it's like...
I see love between them. I'm just not sure if it's like
romantic.
Yeah. But I definitely feel their connection.
Yeah.
But that's like what we've talked about, that it seems like the show can't quite figure out if they're trying to just make them like best friends or if they're trying to give them that connection.
It is a very unclear boundary there.
Yeah. But tonight I have not liked them at all together. But seeing Wes kind of like text her secretly and whatever, it made me be like, I don't know.
But the thing is, if they are best friends and you know that your best friend just went to go find their like mafia father, you know what I mean, and she lied to you and told you that her grandma died, I think I'd be a little concerned and text the person in the middle of the night too.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
circumstances.
It's not like I'm just thinking about you.
True.
Like I know you're just chilling, but like you might die, so I'm just gonna make sure that you're alive really quickly.
But the conversation with Maggie, I think they did that on purpose, because when she said like, I see how you look whenever you see a text from her,
it still felt forced to me.
It does a little bit, but I think they're more so building toward that possible relationship thing. But it's just weird because, you know, last week or the week before, even at the end of last season, it was Laurel who was like, Wes, why are you answering my phone calls?
Totally.
And now it's him. So that's why I just can't figure out if she is like actually still in love with Frank, or if she likes Wes and is trying to
like the
protect
pattern.
him, or if it's kind of a little of both.
That's her pattern, right? She was into Wes when he was really not trying to be with her. He had his own thing he was worried about, and now she wants to be more with Frank because he's away. So like that's what her father says. She's always chasing after men who run away, apparently.
Those daddy issues.
Daddy issues.
But the fact that Maggie put it out there, which, by the way, all my trust for her went out the door when she was like, yeah, I swiped your license. I was like, you did a lot more than that, probably. Went through your text messages.
Totally.
Who swipes the license?
You're also probably not who you say you are.
Right?
Yeah.
She was also being very awkwardly, like, doctorly. She's like taking his pulse, like right after
I'm not
they
like
slept
sure
together.
that's like exactly what you want to do.
Not really the best pillow talk. Over here.
Is that what people in med school do when they're in a relationship? Can you guys tweet us if you're in med school? You guys just like examine your partner in bed.
Yeah.
Well, I think about like Grey's Anatomy. I feel like if they did that, it would have been like sexy, like but it would have been like, let me check here. But instead, it was just like, oh, I'm actually checking for masses on your abdomen, and it's like, no, you could have made that better, more like, you know,
different time,
sensual.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we just got some crazy predictions in our Twitter. Can I go ahead and say that?
Yes.
They just made me. My brain is like going all over the place now. Okay, so Almedia, is that how you say your name?
Yes.
I don't know what the handle is.
I think she's in chat too.
Mia, okay. They say, I think Connor commits suicide. I also think Rebecca's body is found. And also that perhaps Nate's secret is that he's bisexual. Like, why would they throw that? Why would they throw that Oliver scene in there so, like, strongly? That could be, like, a sign for something.
I think to, like, show that Oliver is looking.
Yeah.
Not that he's looking, but that he is looking at somebody else.
I mean, he is hard to miss. Nate is hard to miss.
I don't miss him when he's on camera.
Yeah. But the Rebecca thing is very interesting. Like that they find Rebecca's body or something.
The Connor suicide theory.
Yeah.
I like that one.
A few people said that in chat earlier, and I think it's possible because I forget who. I'm sorry. I'll try and go back and find it, but they were saying that it's because he seems to be taking the blame for everything and is just like very down on himself. But like in the situation tonight where he took the blame and didn't tell Oliver that the guy was actually just like he's not my type and I don't want to hook up with him.
Right?
Exactly. I don't think that was him. I don't think he did that or him doing that is going to depress him. I think he was like really doing the right thing. It wasn't necessarily taking the blame.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that struck me as him actually reacting in like a healthier way for once. Because, I mean, before he just deflected and it was so not what you should do. I mean, he had every right to be very angry with Oliver for betraying him. And, you know, this seemed like he's sort of more like taking the high road.
Yeah.
So it seemed like he was reacting to the breakup in a more authentic way. He was actually like hurting from being broken up.
Because he could have been like, he was actually into me. You're not his type.
But yeah, I mean, at the same point, like I think he knew that even if he did say that, it would push them further down a road. Like Oliver wouldn't even believe him.
Totally. Yeah.
Very true. I just think that I don't know. I just wonder where they're going with that situation. But Connor he has a more like morose personality than anyone else. So I get I mean, it's not anything like when I read that, I was like, oh, that could kind of make sense. But especially now that we know that there's a second body that was burned very badly. Oh no, but that person, they have a pulse.
Yeah, they do have a pulse.
You can still be burned badly.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the suicide thing though. But
right.
I don't know. We'll see.
Guess it can't be that.
Yeah.
That theory is
not.
gone.
Yeah.
Unless he's the one on the gurney.
It's just episode 3, people.
Yeah.
You never know.
Well,
let's talk about the case a little bit.
Yeah.
The call girl creeper case.
These cases are getting more and more intense.
Yeah.
I was thinking about last week's case pretty much all week this week. Just how the acting and everything was so crazy, and how these individual cases that were kind of focusing on each episode really like overtake what's happening.
I think this was the first time, one that I can remember at least, of someone where they had to defend like the worst possible person.
Yes.
Like he's really just
scumbag.
The worst.
Like he admitted to killing one person. I mean, at least one.
Yeah.
He told the whole story, and it's such a heinous way.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
One swift swing of the bat.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
And it's such a highly publicized case, too, since he's gone through multiple lawyers.
And the other case that he's actually on trial for didn't seem too good either. I mean, he had a selfie with the girl that actually ended up dying like 7 minutes before he even did anything else, like call the cops or the ambulances.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
he just
it's
has
interesting.
like no redeeming qualities.
Right.
Like at the end of his case, Annalise was like, "You killed 2 innocent women and think you have the right to complain."
Yeah, when
like,
she
dude.
She was going to break his neck for a second.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the episode, I think.
I feel like everybody just wanted to do that.
Yeah,
that's the least he deserves, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean,
At the very least.
As lawyers, I think they walk a very fine line where you have to do your job to defend someone to the best of your abilities.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you keep people like that out of prison sometimes.
Yeah.
And so that's really tricky. And I think showing the toll that it takes on these characters, having to like go home and like binge drink and just to be able to sleep.
Yeah.
And you can see that even Michaela has some sort of like moral compass still, because she's like, I can't defend this person. I can't, whatever. Yeah. And so it's like shows what the years of experience with dealing with people like that can do to you over time.
Right. I'm really glad they tie the knot with that connection being why she stole the money from the bag.
Yeah.
It seemed like such a rash move, such a stupid thing to do.
Random.
Steal $20,000 from I mean, at any time from anyone. Like
they don't even know what they're gonna do with the money now, so she should have
now
kept
Bonnie
it.
might
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she should have just kept it.
She got $200K.
But going back to the redeeming qualities thing, like, because usually, like last week, for instance, yes, she killed her husband, but when you hear her whole story, it's like, okay, she definitely should have probably killed her.
He deserved it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he deserved
Exactly.
it. But when this guy in this creeper case was telling his story, it was like, okay, and then what happened? She, like,
She was
stabbed
mean to
you?
me.
Yeah,
She
it's
called
like-
me fat.
I
I
love
mean,
that
I
Annalise
get, like,
called her
over
out.
years
Yeah.
that, like, really, like,
Sure.
messes with you mentally, but, like,
You don't get to
still,
like kill somebody.
there wasn't that redeeming factor for me with him.
I love that Annalise said, we've all been called names. We've all been treated that way. Not to, kind of
minimize.
Right.
Obviously, bullying is terrible and there's way too much of it, especially nowadays. But, I mean, what she said is true. Like, we have all been called names and we don't
it doesn't
just...
justify
Doesn't mean you can
something
take a
like
bat
that.
to someone's head.
That
just
means you
because
have
they-
something off. If
Yeah.
something makes you want to swing and murder a person,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
that just means you're, not right. I get everyone, like, has a switch and everyone can flip at some point, but it's just the fact that he seemed like he felt bad for it, but then again, if
He
he
was
truly felt
placing
bad for it,
blame,
he put her body in a broken freezer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
not even a working freezer.
So,
Right.
what
I mean,
is-
not that would have been
but
like,
I
that
think,
much
but
better.
thinking
but
like preservation kind of stuff, you put it like to
at the
just
very least, working freezer, people.
Yes.
Come on.
Well,
Murderers
I
out
had
there.
a similar thought.
Common
actually.
decency.
Yeah.
So what did you guys
Um,
think about Bonnie's reaction, like how hard she took it, just because it was so personal to her, like when she said, this could have been me, or whatever. But they've done so many terrible things too, like why this case?
Yeah. Well, that's what, when I asked you when we were watching, I'm like, why is she so upset? Because at first I'm like, does this girl have, the girl that was missing or that he murdered, does she have a history of, abuse? But Bonnie said, she's like, this could have been me, because she would have eventually run away if, her dad hadn't got caught. But you made a good point when you said it's because it's like it really does hit them that they do bad things so often, or they cover up bad things so often, so it just takes a toll on you. So.
And the scene with her watching on the laptop, like Janie's mom, I think she was thinking more so of like, oh, if my mother didn't find me, or if I didn't run away or whatever, then it would have been the pain the family had to deal with. And it's been 4 years since she ran away, so I think she was thinking of that pain, and that sort of touched her too, to an extent.
Yeah,
I was surprised that she didn't do the anonymous tip, because when
I
she
was
was
too.
watching that video, I thought that she was just gonna ring it in really quickly.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, her loyalty is with Annalise, and she kind of
Ride
just
or
has
die.
to do She has to do it.
Oh, and she's alive. We should mention that. She's
Oh,
alive,
yeah,
right?
Bonnie's
Bonnie.
alive.
Oh yeah, Bonnie's alive.
Not
so that
under
is not
any
her.
sheets.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Yeah.
aren't happy about that on Twitter. They're like, oh,
Nice.
you guys really wanted Bonnie to die.
But she
A lot of people wanted
Yeah.
Oliver, and a lot of people wanted Bonnie. They're like,
Right.
I wish it was them.
I don't think I would have wanted it to be Bonnie, just because
She's so ride or die.
she's
So
so
loyal.
ride or
She
die.
is.
Like, she might be
She's probably the
annoying at
most loyal.
times. She's probably doing like way too much all the time.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like she's gonna have Annalise's back.
Yes.
Laurel, no.
No.
You already saw that.
Wes,
not.
probably not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wes
so
too weak.
she's there, and we need a character still on Annalise.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
she cares about more than just Annalise. I mean, obviously she's her number one, but she even let everything slide with Michaela, like not just the relationship thing, but the money thing, and she obviously didn't tell Annalise about it.
Yeah.
She cares about these kids and like definitely takes them under her wing.
She's kind of like the house mom.
Yeah.
She really
Is
is.
that what you call
Yeah.
it? Those
Yeah.
like in sororities and stuff?
House mom.
The house mom.
That's
I
it.
don't know.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, all right.
Sounds
Nailed it.
She's a
right
house
to me.
mom.
House
Like,
moms
I
are
was
always,
thinking
she's
of
a
like
little young for a house mom,
the
but
facts
she
of
has like
life. Well, what's her name? Mrs. Garrett. She's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Anyone? The facts of life? No.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I was like, does anyone?
No.
Young.
She
crew.
is. She protects them, and I think she knows that she's made, well, clearly a lot of mistakes in her past. So, a lot of times the things that they do, like stealing the $20,000, she didn't do it with bad intent. I mean, clearly not smart to go
a little bit
steal
of bad
$20,000.
I don't know if you can steal
20
any amount of money
G's.
with good intent.
Right.
I was honestly.
True.
I just want to have some fun.
Because even if she did like win a bunch of money, she wouldn't like stuff more in the bag.
At least it was like not. At least it was from like a criminal.
Can we talk just for a second about how far Michaela's come? She would never have done that in season 1 or even 2, really. Like, she was always I gotta get good grades, I gotta do this, blah, blah, blah. But now she's stealing $20,000 out of a suitcase and
she
taking
still
it to Atlantic
has a little
City.
bit of that, like,
and going to Atlanta City.
Yeah.
You saw that in the courtroom.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, when did she become a badass all of a sudden?
Right.
Too many men have crossed her.
Oh, yeah.
Now.
Well, sort of. She didn't. She lost it all. She had to pawn her engagement ring.
Yeah, well,
Which
and
I'm glad she got rid of that,
She should have gave back. By the way.
well, and the guy.
No.
What? How is that not? That's not the
So
give
there
it
are
to the
certain
girl, right?
situations where you give the ring back. Like if you
like
have
that's a
if you have a
situation.
mutual breakup, sure. If somebody cheats on you, you do not give the ring back. I'm trying to think of the other
if the
reasons.
guy messes up,
That
you
might
don't
just
get
be
the
it,
ring back,
actually.
basically.
That is
if
a
the guy
gift.
messes up.
That is a gift. And they
I guess.
If you do something wrong, they get to
Well,
keep it out of spite.
he turned out to be. I mean, it was never like
Engaged.
completely confirmed, but he's
He's
gay.
on the down low.
Well, yeah,
So
he's
she-
bi, obviously, because
Yes.
he, was with her.
Unless they're just cover-ups, though.
Yeah.
And
guess.
but
Like a
that's the
beard.
thing. He was never going to tell her, so he was just going to lie, and her life would have turned into a huge lie itself. So
Yeah.
probably
I wonder if the
would've
new
kept
girl
ring.
knows.
And because the mom is the main reason she kept the ring, because she was so terrible to Michaela in their little meetings and like called her whatever names.
When you
Yeah,
when
they
you
did not get
lunches
along.
and
They did
dinners,
not get
whatever.
along.
when you find out your ex is engaged and or married, like she did in this episode, that'll make you do some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
So I can justify her
You can
behavior.
speak from
I can speak from
experience
her
over here.
experience.
I want
I
that
don't
so
know,
$20,000.
yeah. One time I sold
$20,000 nothing,
$20,000 once I went to Vegas. Just kidding.
But I wouldn't have bet it all on black every single time because eventually you're gonna lose.
Yeah,
But I mean,
just
she won
flip
like
it
she was
over
up
with
80.
money.
Yeah, I was gonna say when she was up 80, I would have been like,
Could have been hedging those bets.
Bless
She wasn't
Yeah.
being rational, obviously, that night.
yeah, clearly.
Yeah, Asher should have been keeping closer tabs.
He has no control over Michaela in this
No.
relationship. Like, let's be real. He's
He
he's
really
along for the ride.
Yeah, he totally is. I did like how he was like actually standing up for her in public and
Yeah.
made more of like a boyfriendy move. I mean, obviously he's out of his league by kind of being
Yeah,
with
he was like,
Michaela.
I'm her boo, and
Yeah.
I'm her boo.
No, yeah, I'm her boo, not your
Right.
clout boo. Still
Oh,
working
man.
on her accepting him, but
Yeah.
it's definitely.
I like
Yeah.
I like that they're out now though. Even though I was kind of surprised because it was only Connor that found out last week, and this
Right.
week they're just like, oh, okay, it's all happening.
Yeah.
Once one
But-
person
Well, yeah.
knows.
I feel like they're all so close knit that it's a very gossipy lawyer house.
It was
Yeah.
really just Connor and Bonnie that they were trying to hide it from, and then once they found out, it was kind of like, well,
Doesn't matter.
here we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Bonnie's been super cool about the whole thing. I mean,
Well, I think she's like definitely reeling it in.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't think that she's okay with it by any
Yeah.
means.
well, yeah, she's also
But she
an
ended things
adult,
with
and
him.
these are like more kids with.
Totally.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think deep down Bonnie
Crazier
saw
emotions.
herself with Asher
Right.
for
No.
the
Yeah.
long haul.
That was
so
probably just a fun
she's
little
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
I kind of got
Bonnie's
a
fine.
feeling that Bonnie liked Frank at the end of last season, but maybe just because they were like hiding certain things
Right.
together.
Yeah.
So
And they've just seen some stuff
yeah,
together.
Worse than murder, as they say.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
true.
I'm so curious what that is. Like, what could be worse than murder? I mean, we've seen some pretty bad stuff in the show,
Yeah.
but
I don't
I
know.
would
Like,
just say,
I feel like a
Very
life of
intriguing.
sexual abuse is probably pretty bad. Because
Yeah.
you're like suffering every day.
Definitely.
That's
Right.
probably
Totally. And I think also just like all of these little things that they do, like for instance, getting this guy who killed this girl 3 years in jail as
Right.
opposed to like,
Right.
and he didn't even have to confess to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like doing stuff like that that's not really right.
weighs on your conscience.
All
Yeah.
yeah, like weighs on your conscience. for
But
sure.
also, I mean, it brought Annalise back up to where she needed to be.
Totally.
Because the whole time I kept thinking, I'm like, how are you gonna get yourself out of this? I mean, of course, she always has a way.
Right.
But that's what, I mean, her reputation has suffered because of the things that she's gone through, and being accused of murder will tend to do that to a person. But she used it to her advantage and thankfully got the girl found at the same time. Now,
Yeah.
that obviously this guy doesn't get to be punished as he should be, but she is ultimately his defense attorney. And she smacks him good, so it, you
Yeah.
know,
She
that
She
was
did.
worth
gets,
it.
she
Yeah,
gets
she
reprimanded for that.
does.
Apparently, she
Yeah.
might lose her
In
license,
the
but
previews.
guess we'll talk about that next
Yeah.
week.
What did you guys think about her and Nate, like Nate helping her first of all
I
solve
actually
that
really
because
like that.
I did
yeah,
too.
because they like the whole episode they were like, okay, we're not gonna like mix business pleasure,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and then at the end he gives her that story for the guy that he's randomly saw in jail or whatever, that admitted or whatever.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Like, it was, again, them actually communicating.
That's like, what they're best at. Yeah, is like helping each other when it comes to solving murder.
They gotta
exactly.
Communicating.
Make
that's
a great
not their
team.
best trait.
They really just shouldn't have any secrets. You know what I mean? Like, you've either got to mix it or you.
Right.
Well,
it's too late for them to not.
Right. Look at what they've gone through before. Like, they were in an affair with, his wife was dying, and she was going through all this stuff with Sam, and knew that he had just got murdered.
She's thrown him under the bus multiple times,
and
publicly.
He knows that. Why not tell the truth?
Am I the only one that's still a little bit suspicious of Nate?
I was just gonna say.
But why?
There's still
what's there to be suspicious of? He's never done anything.
Even in the kitchen. I think he's in it. I think he's in it for the long haul. Like, I think that even in the kitchen, like when he gave her the smoothie and he was doing all that, and he's like, whatever you say.
Right.
Like,
Thank you.
This dude is way too smart to be walked over by this woman. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean that in like a derogatory way, but I mean like.
What does he have to gain? What does he have to gain
he's in it for something.
I think he's hurt, or she's hurt him.
Yeah.
Like over the past 2 seasons, she's
doing
cut
all
him
this out of revenge.
I feel like there's a little part of him that's more conniving than we're giving him credit for.
I definitely think he's conniving. I just think
he's playing her.
I think
You think?
I don't know.
Yeah,
he's got that many ulterior motives.
I want them to be together, but it's like, I do think there's like a small part of me that's like,
I think a part of him wants her to pay for the pain he's caused and the bad things that she's done. Like, he's a cop at the end of the day. I feel like maybe.
Oh, so you think it's a moral thing?
Maybe a little bit, yeah, moral and personal.
I mean, I'd be willing to listen to more of that.
Yeah.
I think
I'm with you on that.
In the beginning of the episode,
I feel a little
fishy.
like I have a raised eyebrow every time they're like making out.
All right.
I don't know how I feel about that.
We'll
keep an eye on the situation, but you guys know what we find.
Do some recon.
Fina Juliana says Nate's not stupid. He's up to something.
Yes,
thank you. And then Ty Cow, I apologize for the pronunciation. I don't think Nate would do anything to hurt Annalise.
So, Ty, I'm with you.
Nate isn't like a house husband. He knew exactly what to do to fix this creeper case or whatever, and he's definitely up to something.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's not just gonna wake up early and make you smoothies every morning. He's doing something.
He could do that.
She doesn't even like smoothies, bro. I can't even know your girl. Where's the bacon?
Unless there's bacon in there,
right? Come on. Which makes me love her
you
even
don't even know your girl.
Bacon in her smoothies. The beginning scene in the kitchen, yes, I'll give you, was a bit awkward. They made a point to make it seem like they were off, because she didn't really want him there, and he's spending a lot of time. It was those vibes for sure. I'll give you. But
making himself at home.
I think that was all to set up this new stage in their relationship where they can finally trust each other.
Yeah.
So where exactly?
That'd be nice. I would like for that to be the case.
Where exactly is Nate when all of these conversations are going on, like Annalise and Bonnie and Annalise? No, she's
he's working out.
No, because she's like, I'll tell Nate to leave. He is there. But where is he? Is he listening?
In the bed, probably, waiting.
He could just be coming there, later, and she'll be like, "Oh, I'll tell him to go home," or I'll, not.
He does have his own place.
Well,
or he could just be waiting in the wings and finding everything out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Probably with a little journal, writing everything down.
Yeah. Okay.
He's building his case.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I feel like they've been through so much. If he did have a vendetta against Annalise, it would have come out way earlier. He's already covered for her so many times since.
It's the long game.
Yeah.
JB.
Playing the long game.
I feel like we won't know until season 5. Yeah, I don't think we'll know till season 5.
Just wait.
My voice just went out.
Wow.
Are you all right?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna make a who's not under the sheet prediction right now.
Okay.
And I think
I know 2 for sure.
We know Bonnie, we know Oliver. I'm gonna add Nate to that list. I do not think that he is either of the 2 people, either the dead or
I don't think
the Battle
Nate is number 1 guess in the chat right now.
Well,
what makes you say that?
For one of them, not necessarily Gurney or not necessarily House, but
interesting.
I think probably because we have to keep him in there because he is at the house so much. It has to be people who would potentially be at her house, which are
That's
the
what
Keating
they want
5.
You to think.
But
it's too obvious.
But who else is it going to be?
Maggie.
I mean, Why would
the president?
Yeah, the president.
Well,
is
that's
now.
another. A lot of people are guessing the president too.
Yeah.
But that's
Everyone you've seen so far.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be the Keating Five, Nate, president. Probably the writers even said that it's gonna be a major character. It's not gonna be a new character that they introduced.
Oh,
so
really?
it's gonna be
that?
Keating Five. I don't, like 3 people told me in
Well,
chat.
there's 2 people. There's 2 people dead now, so one of the major characters.
Right. So
and
one
of
major
the
character
new
probably, and then
a new
and then the
True.
president probably.
I think it's the president.
Yeah.
But
It's gonna be the person who they didn't expect is gonna be Nate because he has like a little a crawl space in the home where he's just listening
Right.
to everything.
and then he's like, oh crap, it's on fire! And I can't get out of
Crawl
crawl
space.
space.
It's like all part of my master prediction.
What is this crap?
Nate is a major
Where's he fitting?
character.
What crawl space is he
He is
fitting in?
He's major enough for it to be
Yeah.
like
Big
huge.
hallway.
No, I mean, at the beginning of the episode, if you, Sterling, said your prediction, I probably would have agreed because knowing that Eve is coming back, knowing that their, like, domestic life between AK and Nate isn't really working out.
Mm-hmm.
She obviously doesn't care enough to tell him that she doesn't want smoothies in the morning.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, they made such a great connection with that solving that case that I think it's like why
Right.
They're gonna make us love them
yeah.
even more,
Right.
and then they're gonna kill
they're
him.
gonna take it away.
So let's say my instincts are
Right?
completely off.
We'll see.
If my instincts are completely off and they are actually like doing fine and in a real relationship, then it could be Nate because they're like right now they're building him up so much that we want to love him and like have
So
him
much
around
they
for a
one
while.
scene.
Yeah.
In one scene of positiveness.
Well, I mean,
and
I don't know. It's like Annalise is happy and I'm really
But
You're
exactly,
not
she's
convinced.
finally like.
I'm not convinced.
She's,
I'm saying
she's
I'm
a little
saying
content, or not a little content, but she is.
She's just content.
She's just
Right.
content being
Okay.
with him.
Yeah.
So, and she's been so unhappy the past 2 seasons. So, and look at how much more they're showing him this season. He's been a huge character in the past 2, but I feel like definitely we see him in more scenes now.
whoever's in the gurney is someone that Annalise wouldn't mind if they're dead.
And I think
Because
the other
it's like
person
all
is a
planned.
shock
Yeah.
that they didn't know.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Because that's when.
Because the whole thing is planned.
Right.
Like it's like
the
a cover
screen was
up.
fake.
Yeah.
She knew that he was gonna be there
And
for the
clear
phone.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
she-
was all planned
But
out.
the body in the
Right.
house isn't. She doesn't know who that is. So that might be the major
It
character.
seems like they don't
Right.
know who that is.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know. But
Yeah,
also the
nothing's
body in the
what
house
it
is
seems
alive.
though.
Very
They
true.
play a lot of shadow games.
It
a
is
lot of-
never what it seems.
Yeah.
No. But we got to see our boy Frank again tonight.
Ooh.
Only for a little bit though.
For a
Yeah.
second.
Not
yeah.
enough Frank. Bring back
Not
Frank.
enough Frank. But what do y'all think? Laurel. Why do y'all think Laurel is really looking for him? Do you
Well,
think
I
good
think-
intentions
I
or
think-
like?
I
we
don't
need
know.
to
I
dedicate some
can't
time
tell.
to this.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
let's have a
confused
Frank
with Laurel.
segment.
Laurel.
Laurel segment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's Laurel. It's Laurel and Frank.
Yeah.
/ new dad.
Floral,
Different dad
as a
than
lot
they
of
played
people will
last
say.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and we got
Yeah, that's
the
true.
dad too. We'll definitely talk about that. I
Yeah.
think. I mean, they made it a point to show that Laurel did not respond to Wes and responded to Frank. You know, obviously she's kind of on the lookout for Frank. But I think, to me, that was very clear in her relationship status with both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That she
Fair.
like sees Wes as a friend that she doesn't need to respond to necessarily, and
She's
Frank
interested in Frank.
is
Well,
someone
So-
she's in love with.
Just to play devil's advocate off that point, I mean, she hasn't heard from Frank in months.
Right.
And her and
True.
Wes communicate more
True,
often.
true.
Yeah.
And she
But I
probably
do
doesn't
understand
want
what you're
to.
saying.
She probably doesn't want to have to tell Wes what she's up to.
Definitely.
She probably doesn't want to lie.
I mean,
to him.
she already lied about the whole
Right.
situation.
Yeah.
But their conversation too, I think, was more telling because Frank was trying to, give up information and kind of admit things to Laurel, and she wouldn't let him. She kind of saw where it was going and cut him off. She's like,
Yeah.
"Don't say anything else." Like
Well,
incriminating
her phone's
yourself.
bugged. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, they probably don't want to put too much time on the. That's like so telling that she didn't want that information from him or like him to be found based on how long he's on the call for
Right.
or whatever. Isn't that how that works?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you
haven't
like
traced
if you
any
like hit
phones,
30
but
seconds
again-
with someone, you can like pinpoint
I
the
think that's like a
location.
myth.
I
I think
feel
it's
like
actually
I saw
like
that
up to 2
on
seconds.
on like
No, Sterling can actually do that in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I can't do that in 30. Give me 30 seconds. I'll find out. I'll find you.
But
it's not crazy.
The thing that I didn't understand. That's a very good trait to have, actually. The thing that I didn't understand is why.
Not calling either of you ever.
Why, if she thought her dad already knew where he was, what's the point of hanging up the call?
Well, I think because if he was tracking
that's a good point.
I think she didn't want him to admit anything over the phone, because if since she knew that she knew where he was, they could be recording the call.
And then he would start talking about, I murdered.
Right. Or even like any of the Annalise stuff. It was just a very bad situation.
I was also thinking that her phone could be bugged, not just from her dad, but from Annalise. Like, Oliver could have done that or something. You know what I mean? So, and at that point, she didn't know what side she's on.
Right.
Yeah.
So when her dad, like, offered her, he's like, okay, you sign this, and then I'll let you know where Frank is or whatever. And she didn't do it at first, but then when she goes back and does it, it's like I was surprised she did that. And then lie to Annalise about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I guess
that's why I don't, because now she's like, she's chosen Frank. Yeah.
So but why?
Because she loves him.
But I think it could be for other reasons. I really do. I think that it could be... because the voicemails, her dad was right whenever he's like, this isn't you leaving these like sappy voicemails on this guy's phone. That's never been her character. Like she's more so been like tough and hard with all this stuff with Frank. So I think there's more to her doing that than just she like misses him and wants to know where he is.
Well, no, I think it's one of the only people she's been able to open up with. Like she said that, we come from a similar background of like being bad people. And she was kind of the first one of the Keating Five to really own that and be able to move past the whole murder thing without crumbling to pieces. Like, everybody's on that page now, but in the beginning they were in shambles.
She's used to it.
I feel like also when Frank said on the phone that Annalise tried to kill him, that she was kind of like taken aback by that.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, because she didn't know that Annalise was doing that.
Yeah, but I feel like, does she know that she's trying to find Frank for Annalise so that that Annalise can kill Frank?
No.
Or that she just wants to talk to Frank? Well, that's naive.
Well, is that why Annalise wants to find? I don't think she wants to kill him. Does she?
Well, we see in the preview she admitted, I hired a hitman to kill Frank.
I thought it was like a PI more so than a hitman, or just like.
I think she's nervous.
Okay. Well, she said in the preview.
Exactly.
I think she's nervous that A, Frank has so much information and dirt on her, and B, that like he could kill her.
Right, but she didn't. Like when the hitman / PI called her and was like, "What do you want to do?"
Yeah.
She didn't say like, take him out.
She didn't have a chance to, though.
And it's not that easy.
He was already in the room with a knife on the guy's throat.
She had like 4 seconds to think about it.
Right, but I mean, it's not like she wasn't thinking about that like the entire time before that phone call came in. Like she hired him, she must have made a decision.
But I think she thought of it in the sense of like, okay, I just want to find him, and this can be a possibility, because she does know that he's the reason ultimately why her baby died, and she does know that he killed Lila and whatever else.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, so, that's like the PI part.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think whenever the guy called her, I don't think she was like, what do I do? Yeah. Because she didn't automatically just say like yes. She didn't know. I mean, who's to say if she actually would have said yes or not, because I don't know.
But to your original question, do we think Laurel's doing this out of love or out of loyalty to Annalise? Like, do we understand her true intentions or motives?
I don't know what she's doing yet. I really don't know what she's doing yet.
Got me fooled. I'm not sure.
Because she's doing too many things that don't seem like her personality.
Right.
But then I get why she didn't tell Annalise.
But if she was on Annalise's side, wouldn't she be like, hey, this is what I'm doing? Like, let me fill you in, but it's going to make it seem like I'm not on your side, but I am.
Right.
You know, as opposed to, she said she didn't sign the paperwork or whatever. She said, you know what I mean? It's like the little stuff that like.
I feel like she's definitely playing both sides.
Yeah,
I'm just not sure which side she will choose in the end.
I think she did. Yeah. She went off of Annalise's side as soon as Frank said she tried to kill me or whatever he said on the phone. I forget his exact words. Yeah. But I mean, I don't think she wants him to die. I just don't think. I don't know. I think her loyalty is more so with Wes.
I think she genuinely believed that Annalise just wanted to wasn't mad at Frank and just wanted to bring him back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Until Frank said that, and she was like, "Oh, shit! I'm about to like help her do that."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I still don't really know.
Right.
Totally. No, I agree. But lesson 1, never keep Annalise in the dark or cross her.
Right.
She'll
Ever.
find out.
I mean, we'll see how far Laura goes down this road, because if she continues and doesn't tell Annalise, I think there's a big possibility she's going to end up under that sheet.
Yeah.
Annalise does
I don't want
not
it to be
take
Laurel.
kindly to that.
I love Laurel.
I don't want it to be Laurel either.
This was such
but
a great
who
episode
do we
for
want
her.
it to be? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be Bonnie, but it's too late for that.
Yeah.
Maybe I could see Nate going. I'm okay with that.
I would just
That's about
miss
it.
his presence on the show.
Maybe
Right.
Connor too, because he's been really moody lately.
The other thing I was going to say about Laurel and Frank is that we're not used to seeing like an actual love story on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We always assume they're in it for like a different
Ulterior
intention or
motives,
whatever.
yeah.
So if this is if they do genuinely like have feelings or are meant to be together, it's going to be very interesting to see on the show.
Right.
Because usually people
Right.
are together to like do something like other than be in love.
Yeah.
On the show. So I don't know, it's interesting. And Maggie still is in this mix. So
Yeah.
let's not
It's
forget
her
about
deal.
her.
Yeah.
She's there for a reason.
She is there, yeah.
So
Next
check his
episode,
abdomen, I guess.
She's gonna have a great episode next.
Yeah, I
episode.
mean, Maggie's
Yeah.
kind of the female Nate in all ways, and not even as integral to the process. I feel
Right.
like she's an easy lift out.
Yeah.
Just get rid of her.
She could be the second person.
She could be the person that they use to finally show us if Wes and Laurel are going to be a thing, or if they're just going to be besties for the resties.
I think, yeah.
Because she just like they did tonight in that little speech that I was talking about. I mean, I can't think of another reason why she's on there except for sketchy reasons that we just would have no idea
We're all
about.
assuming
because
it's sketchy reasons.
Yeah.
We're just not sure
Right.
what
Right.
the sketch level is.
like where it's coming from. I mean, you don't
There's
swipe
something
somebody's
there.
ID unless
Right.
you're doing something sketchy. Maybe you Google them,
Right.
but not like I'm never gonna look and
I'm
y'all
sure
know-
his
y'all know Google
birthday's
people?
like on his
No.
Facebook
Yeah,
or
of course.
something. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean,
right? It's
I actually don't
2016.
really Google people. So I should.
You've never swiped a license?
that's exactly what
I've never
someone
done
who
that.
Googles
You've never
people
looked
does.
at
I
a
really
guy's wallet?
I Googled myself.
Someone tweeted us and said, well, PLL Forever, so Pretty Little Liars, shout out to that show. Did you catch that Laurel was kidnapped at 16 and didn't pay, and the dad didn't pay the ransom?
Yeah.
Yes, we
Pretty
caught
messed
that.
up. That's pretty messed up. Well, and kind of explains their broken relationship.
Right.
Um,
And it was weird to see like how tense their relationship was when they were in the office, but then when he came over, they were all of a sudden like friendlier. Did you guys get
Yeah.
that? It was like a total vibe switch.
I mean,
Well,
it's
he
one of
found
those like
Frank,
parent
though.
things, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't know that at that point.
At the point, yeah.
But it's like, even though, I mean, clearly
he
they
also
have
brought,
a
cake.
Tresla
Yeah,
chicken.
Some-
hey,
some-
bring me
yeah,
a cake and
dual
we are
says.
good.
I
mean, that's what I'm saying.
You
Just
didn't pay
saying.
ransom for my kidnapping.
Be like,
It does
oh, you
help.
brought me
It
this
does help.
cake?
No harm, no foul.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that, but we've talked about how the situation with her dad has messed her up in certain ways because she's grown up around like people being killed for whatever reason. So which
Right.
is probably why she did or has had that tough exterior the whole time.
Yeah.
That's why I don't believe oh, I miss you, I love you.
Yeah. I hope we
I
learn
thought he
more
was
about
sincere. I liked.
No, I think I thought it
I
was
liked
too.
him. I thought they had a good chemistry.
that. I hope we
Yeah.
learn more
Good
about that
makeup.
kidnapping
Yeah.
because, like, how did she get back?
Yeah.
What happened?
I definitely want to know
want
more about this dad. Like he seems like a
Yeah.
super gangster, and
Seems
I'm
like
a
into
baller,
it.
and I'm
yeah, like a
into
boss.
it. Yeah.
It's like, what is
More
this
of
dude's
a-
story? Yeah. for
This is
sure.
a good thing. King Bay fan says Frank will save Annalise from the
Again.
president
Back.
in the second
Ooh,
half
wow.
of this season. Save her from the president.
Frank
How?
will save Annalise from the president.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I really
And gain her trust back. Okay, maybe.
it all kind of comes back to the overarching storyline, which we don't really know anything about.
Yeah.
Other than the fact. well, no,
We're
Don't
just
know
really
anything.
shooting in the dark
Calm
here.
down, people.
We have no
Calm
idea.
down.
Thanks,
Calm
baby.
down. Calm down.
We actually have no idea what's
Rein
happening
it
in the show, so.
Well, it's
We
this
don't.
after show is,
No, we
is
really
definitely
don't.
all predictions.
We really
throw
don't.
a lot of things against the wall. Some of it sticks, some
Yeah.
of it does not.
Disclaimer, these are all opinions.
Yes.
These are
Yes.
not real facts that are true.
Yes, this is a fictional show after all. No, I think with who's under the sheet, because we know it has to be a conspiracy in a lot of ways because of the phone that Oliver wipes. You know, that means that whoever is under there is kind of an enemy of Annalise. Like she
Yes.
deliberately, through whatever actions, we don't know like how extreme,
Yeah.
put him there. She is aware. Like Bonnie's very calm. Oliver, is obviously frazzled because it's like his first real murder that he might be involved in.
Also, was he wearing gloves when he had the phone in his hands and threw it under? Okay,
I didn't notice that.
Right. But I mean,
okay.
now we know
He
that
worked with her.
it's Annalise's phone.
His prints are fine to be on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's we pass it around.
Yeah.
Everyone's touched it.
Okay.
Well, it could either be someone that she's angry at or that did her wrong, or it could be someone that she considers to be dispensable.
Right.
Dispensable
And I don't think that
reason?
is neat. I do not think that's.
What do you mean dispensable?
Like not
Nate is an
super
asset
important
at this
to
point.
her.
And
But why she killed him though?
Well, I don't know necessarily that she killed them, but it's just like so many things have been set up before. Think of every like major murder; it's
Like
always
the
been
lawyer from last season.
right. It's been
Okay,
something
I
that
gotcha.
like someone else messed up, and then Annalise covered for them.
Gotcha.
So that's why it could very well be like, holy crap, she walked up on our house and this was happening, and then she discovered there are things on my phone that this da 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 da. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, enough things happen. I mean, good things happen to everyone, and bad things happen to good people. They are not those people.
No.
These are not those people.
So yeah, I don't think it's just like a coincidence. Like, oh, my house burned down. I should
No, I
get
don't
rid of
think it's
like all of the
coincidence
bad stuff on my phone.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, wow.
reset.
There's a collage here.
I don't think it's a coincidence
What, pictures
either.
over here?
But I think it doesn't necessarily mean that she was completely responsible.
Right,
Because she
right.
hasn't been
True,
completely
but I mean,
responsible
the
for the other
fact
things.
that she goes into like straight up AK mode
Yeah.
and like handles the situation, like wipe my phone off, or you know what to do. Like we've discussed this.
Yeah.
Like CT fly.
They've clearly
initiate the
talked
plan.
about it beforehand.
Right.
Ooh, because it could just be that somebody killed somebody, and then she's like, crap, we got to burn up the house to do this because there's all this evidence.
Right, that's
But
what I
then Nate is in his little nook.
Crawl space.
Yeah.
You might have cracked it. Didn't even know.
You're like, no.
Well, no, I think that
He's just back there collecting evidence.
there's
so that he
definitely some foresight going
Yeah.
on. Like in the last season, she kind of sacrificed herself to be in the house to kind of share the blame like off of her.
Yeah.
You know, I think that whoever, now that we learned there's someone else in the house that may be badly burnt but is still alive, you know, that might be someone else just taking one from the team to
Yeah.
get them, you know, safe.
They could use that beauty box.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Because-
true. Hashtag
Well,
beauty
there you
box.
go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, we need
Or
a
maybe
hashtag
maybe
for
the
like who's
second-
badly burnt. in
Maybe
that
the
Yeah.
second
house.
person is the person who was supposed to like kill the first person and escape, but couldn't escape or something once the house was on fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like is involved, but was supposed to get out or run away or whatever, but
They got
But
caught.
they tripped.
In the
they
crossfire.
tripped.
The
in
house
their
caught
crawl-
fire.
They tripped
Okay.
in their
Isolation.
They tripped in their crawl space and then not
Accidentally
naming
tipped over the
names.
And they rolled down the stairs.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot going on. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I think they've used up their accidents and killing people
But
that
didn't
way.
Bonnie say in that preview she was like, "There's a second body, but they don't know who it is."
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
she say that? So
Because, or they can't tell who it is, probably
'Cause
because
they're
they were so
burned.
badly burnt. Morgan Fitzpatrick says, did they talk about Laurel and her dad yet? Yes, we just
We
did,
did talk about
that.
them.
So you missed it. They have a messed up relationship, basically.
They do. They
That's
do.
the moral of the story.
And we wanna
in a
see more of
nutshell,
him.
And we
in a
wanna see
nutshell.
more of him. I wanna
It's a
know more of his
major
backstory.
subtext they need
Yeah.
to
wow, that's
talk
a
about.
lot.
I know.
That
Well,
part-
they got some counseling in this episode, so that
Yeah.
sort of helped. I mean,
They got counseling.
they spoke in Spanish for some of it, so that was, you know, did not get resolved.
Yeah.
I love when Laurel speaks in Spanish.
I did
Me
too.
too.
I was just about to say that.
Totally. Yeah, no, she does well. I didn't think she was Hispanic before, but she obviously
Here we go.
is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Coming
the
off.
Actress is actually part Hispanic too.
Yes. Sterling, you'll like this really quick. Hannah Luckring says the second person is the person who set the fire to cover up the first person.
Yes.
Totally.
What she said. Whoop whoop.
Nice.
There you go.
But then it backfired.
all right.
Yeah.
It did backfire. I mean, as everything does.
It did backfire. We know that for a
do,
fact.
Unfortunately,
Just kidding.
have to wrap up our show. But final
told
predictions,
us.
maybe? Anyone? Just
Oh, gosh. So much pressure. I'm just going to go Nate is one of the people who died.
ooh.
Yeah, I'm rocking with Nate too. Nate's one of the dead people.
I think Nate was supposed to set the fire, and then he is the
Got
second
caught.
person. Yes.
Ooh, I'm agree to disagree. It is not Nate. I think it's the president and Maggie.
Or Frank and Laurel, or Connor.
Or the
I'm
president
like,
and
Laurel
the
could also
President.
be that.
Or Wes.
Also,
Possibly still Bonnie.
Everyone but Oliver,
And
Annalise,
Bonnie.
and Bonnie.
Yes.
All right, where can people find you guys?
Y'all can find me everywhere at April Whisenhant.
On with Omari on Twitter and IG.
I'm at Sterling Cates.
And I am at John Blake.
Hey, John Blake.
Hey, John Blake. Tune in next time. Next week, we'll have episode 4 for you guys.
See you then.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.